What tips or advice could you give out there, other female investors or other female investors who want to get house hacking? Because a lot of times it's daunting to get started.
And I've talked to some female friends that there's an element of, oh, I don't want to do that. I want my own space, or I don't know if I would feel safe with living with random people. And I get that, but I would tell them that, you get to be in charge of who you let into your house and who you live with. And it's a lot less daunting once you just start. And then there's a huge community of people that are doing the exact same thing. So I'd say just take the step.
Hey, Colorado, Chris Lopez, and today's podcast is a great podcast where we have a house hacker on her fourth house hack as a fourplex in the hot seat today. So great story about how she got her first house hack and how she's built a portfolio. But before we get into our guest, I am joined by Jeff White and Troy Howell. Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon, Chris.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So glad to have you guys back in the studio, but excited to have our guest, Carly. Jeff, introduce her.
Yeah, so Miss Carly is definitely one on my top tier Mount Rushmore of investors, especially house hackers. And I'm not just saying that because she's sitting next to me. I actually mean it 100% because what she's done is absolutely incredible. She's started with just basically on number 4 at the moment and just gone slow and steady. Hasn't tried to overextend herself or saying, oh, let me try this next hot strategy. Let's go pivot to this or that. She's just like, I'm going to use my flexibility while I still have it. And then just keep growing the portfolio every year and working harder and becoming more efficient and better and learning every day. And it is a huge honor to have you here, Carly. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. And then Troy's been involved on the most recent deal. So thank you, Troy, for helping her.
Absolutely. Happy to help.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. But yeah, Carly is someone I think everyone, whether you're just starting out or a more experienced investor, very inspiring story. And what's really fascinating about her story is did not start where most people necessarily want to start from. And that is basically on a little townhouse. And that's where our story will be. We'll get into that later. But most importantly, I want to mention kind of a little bit about Carly. I guess, Carly, tell us about yourself. Let's have you talk about yourself instead of me.
Sure. So I'm 30. I've been doing house hacking for, I think, 2.5, 3 years now. Jeff's the one who got me started on it. And I started with a little townhouse that was 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And we converted that to 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
Oh, nice.
And then from there, got a 5-bedroom, 2.5 bath house and converted that to 6 bed, 3 baths, and then a duplex, and then most recently a fourplex. And it's been a really, really fun journey.
Yes.
So even backing up a step before you built the portfolio, I mean, why real estate? Why house hacking?
I never considered real estate ever before I met Jeff. And the only reason I did was because he made it look so fun. And it was just...
I'm a fun guy. Well, actually going back to that, when she moved back here from New York, because I know you went out there for a little bit, and Brooklyn, I believe, right?
Bronx.
Yeah. Okay, even better. Maybe not. But I remember you're looking for a place, and we just so happened to move out of our little carriage house. And it was a little 1 bed, 1 bath, little tiny house, about 750 square feet. And I think it was just a perfect time. And you saw kind of what we were doing, and they're like, oh, well, okay, I'm looking for a place to rent. Let me go try living in this little back house. And I think from there, you're saying like, oh, okay, so what? You start asking questions of like, well, what did you guys do to buy this place? How are you making money doing this? Or I think you just saw us doing it. You're like, I can do that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never considered that I would be a landlord. I never considered I would own property until much, much later in my life. But the opportunity presented itself, and I think I just went for it. And I had no idea what I was getting into, but I'm hooked now.
Yeah.
But you had a great mentor with Jeff. Because Jeff offered a lot of insight, a lot of advice. Mm-hmm. And so it built your confidence up, right?
Yeah.
To where you felt like, hey, I can do this. Jeff's here to support me and help me answer my questions.
Yeah, it was really helpful to have someone who is like 10 steps ahead of me to kind of tell me all the things that went wrong in your journey so that I would avoid those mistakes. And anytime I had questions, you were available for it. And just seeing you walk the walk was really inspiring. And that's what got me hooked.
Oh yeah, the fun, avoid all the mistakes we made, because that's the learning curve that everyone goes through. And if we could do anything to mitigate that, I was hopefully that helped. And also I would say, your first one was really fascinating, because let's talk about that one, because going back to that townhouse. So how many properties did you look at before you put an offer in? This is why Carly's my favorite too.
We looked at 2.
Yep.
And we made an offer on the first one.
Yes.
Yep.
2 properties, Chris. Got a 50% ratio there.
Wow. But the townhouse worked out, right?
Yeah.
It did, yeah.
So just the right fit. Because not many townhomes you can add 2 bedrooms in there easily.
Yeah,
so it seemed like it was just a great layout.
It was, yeah. It had a huge basement, enough to put in 2 extra bedrooms, and that's exactly what we did.
2 egress windows down there too. So all you had to do is put make it a hallway and close it up, and 2 bedrooms. You're right. How many townhomes could you have enough space?
Well, a lot have a basement, but then no egress windows.
And this one
right.
did.
And most HOAs are not cool if you going out there and digging egress windows in.
No, that's why it was cool. This was built in 2007, I think. It was pretty new townhouse, newer, and had the egress windows already there. So that's why this one was more unique in that sense. It was already, they already kind of planned ahead. But all you had to do is just make the bedrooms. And it was, Englewood, technically southeast Denver. I think it's Englewood specifically. And you made it to a 5-bed, 2-bath, and you took 1 room and rented out 4 and got to learn how to do rent by room strategy. Right away. And what were some of the challenges you encountered that first year?
Let's see. Well, it's just learning how to do it, and learning how to write leases or get people to sign, and who to look for. So the screening process was a big learning curve too. I had some pretty wild tenants in that property. Some people who had relapses and got really paranoid and started thinking that other roommates were spying on them, had put microscopic cameras inside the paint chips.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it got pretty bad.
What about that story you told me? It was at that property where they would just go in people's rooms and sit there until they got home?
That's the one that relapsed.
Explain that story. That was a fun one.
Yeah, so he was good. He was upfront about me in the screening process that he had a DUI, and usually when people are upfront, it's okay. That's better than just finding out later.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so I took him on, and then he was great. He always paid early. He wanted to go through Turbo Tenant for payments because he wanted to build up his credit score, which I'm all about, trying to help out people that way. And he had this really cute little dog that never made any noise, and he was great until he wasn't. And then he started slipping on his rent payments. It was a little bit later. And then I get 3 a.m. calls from the other tenants saying that he is outside, or just opened their door while they were sleeping and was just standing in the door frame watching them sleep, and just got really, really paranoid.
Super creep.
Yeah.
Creepy.
And
so how'd you handle that?
I called the emergency line. I called his emergency contacts. His emergency contacts were the ones who told me, you need to get everyone out of there, because he's a good guy when he's sober, but he's very dangerous when he's drunk. And he ended up having to go to the hospital, and then after that he just wanted to leave, which was good for me because I didn't want him to stay either. So yeah, that was a crazy one. And then the one that followed immediately after that took his room, drank 2 bottles of tequila and 1 bottle of vodka within 48 hours of being there, and had to go to the hospital too.
Oh wow.
So that was a series of
and then the one after
ones.
that one,
I didn't fill it until we changed it to Section 8. After that, I was like, no.
Yeah, so this is a good example of people, especially I would say other podcasts only talks about wins and how easy and successful you are. This is a good example. There are challenges. It's not going to be smooth sailing on every single deal. And most of all, I would say majority of them have been 90% of the time, it's been fine.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
And then eventually rent by room, I think, is a great strategy. But you definitely pivoted. And how are you with the Section 8 tenant now in there? So it's a 5-bed, 2-bath.
Yeah, it took a while to find a good Section 8 tenant because Englewood just doesn't have that many. But finally did, and she's awesome. Hardly hear from her, on time with her payments, very communicative. Like, I think even the Section 8 had failed me for an inspection. They came back for like a second inspection after they approved it. And they failed that because of a light bulb or something, or like a battery. And before I could even ask the tenant what was up, she had said she already fixed it. So she's just on top of it.
Oh, that's great. So she's renting out the entire house, right? Okay.
Yep.
So you pivoted from room by room to Section 8. Have you done that with your other properties as well, or was it just that one property?
Just that one.
Okay. And the other ones are room by room still?
One's rent by room. We have a sober living. And then the Fourplex that I just bought is just individual.
Okay.
Individual renters, yeah.
I'm really curious about the Fourplex.
Yeah.
Let's jump into that. So, tee it up. Like, why a Fourplex? And then, start going through the hunt.
Yeah. Well, when Jeff asked me what I'm looking for next, I said, I love the plexes because you can just do so much more with them. And I would love to live more central to Denver because I was in Aurora, and that's a little bit far from work and life and friends. And so we found this Fourplex, and it just offered so many opportunities. Like, there were already good tenants in there, which I guess at the time we didn't know, but we had hoped for.
Yeah, we just knew that they were paying cash only, and they had like these weird receipts, Chris. So I don't know if you take that as legit. I feel like with cash receipts, like I could just give you a receipt, and then you say, like, Chris paid me. I'm like, well, how do you know he actually paid you? You don't have any bank statements to prove it. So I'm more like, Troy would be proud of me. I act more like an underwriter. I need verification. I can't trust Chris just to give me cash. I need to have him give me some proof. So that's the only questionable thing is, like, were they caught up? Did they actually pay? Right. So that was more of the uncertainty. But on paper, it looked really good at $1,750 per each 2-bedroom. Each unit was 2 bed, 1 bath.
Were able to like verify, or was it just, hey, if they paid, great. If not, you would just have to turn them over?
We got receipts.
We got the receipts.
Okay, you got the receipts.
From the seller.
It was, and then Troy, I think, with the appraisal, did he use the $1,750 or was
he
it?
did. He supported that
Nice.
with what he felt that was the market rents.
Great.
That was going for. So usually you have to go with lower of the two from an underwriting perspective, but it worked out perfect and helped you qualify.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
4 unit.
Yeah. Troy, talk about that. How a 2 to 4 unit is sometimes better for someone to qualify for a property than a single family house or townhouse.
Yeah, it adds to your buying power because we can use that additional rental income. So when you do like a duplex, 3 unit, 4 unit, you can use the non-occupied units in addition to your primary to qualify. So in Carly's case, you have your W-2, great job, working hard, your side business, and then we had the 3 rental units to add to it, so it just augments your qualifying ability and strength, which is awesome. So we discount it by 25%, so you only get 75% of those rents, but it goes a long ways to helping qualify. So we've had a lot of those situations, Jeff, over the years that have worked out great.
Yeah, that's the power of the multifamily, because we get this question too, Troy. I'm sure you get it. It's like, well, can I just get my buddy to rent a room and give me credit for that lease and help me qualify an extra $50K for this house or something like that? I'm sure you got that.
I wish we
could, but we can't. Give me the exception.
Yeah.
You know, but obviously that the only way, at least that I know of, I mean, at least for conventional financing, you need a multi-unit to qualify for more than what you qualify for single. And that's why I think you like this too, is you get your own unit, you don't have to share space, you don't have to live in a basement, and she got the upper unit too, not the bottom unit. Yeah, so taller ceilings, more light.
So it's not down Fourplex?
Yeah.
And what part of town is it in?
Lakewood.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All brick. Very well done.
Yeah.
The best yard I've ever seen
landscape was
for
nice.
a multifamily ever.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
And it's gated. My dog loves it.
Oh, that's
It has
fantastic.
grass. It has like flowers in there, right?
Yeah,
it
it's
has
a little shrubbery.
Yeah. You can see the pictures, Chris.
Yeah.
To give you a comparison of the other units, multifamily next door is dirt lots and just weeds. This one is actually very well maintained.
Yeah, and we actually looked at another fourplex. It was
right
literally right next door.
Yeah, across
the street, yeah. It was going for $50K lower, but it needed a lot more work. Yeah. And I think the rents were lower too.
$1,500. I remember that one. Yeah, so each the rents are lower, and it was more worn down for sure. So this one was moved. You can see in the pictures, very rent ready. I would say.
So no major inspection items?
Yeah, I think we negotiated a little bit, but
Sewer
mostly
line.
the stuff you see, like clean the sewer line out,
So just a sewer
Touch
line
up.
clean out, not having to replace anything.
No, I think
No.
it was.
Well, they had a really old water heater. It
Yeah.
was from like 1960 something. So we replaced that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I don't know how it survived.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a good water heater.
I know.
If it's
I almost
still-
was like, should I replace it?
Yeah,
right.
Is
If it's
that-
going this
is
long.
it lucky?
Yeah.
Probably a little more energy efficient now than new ones.
Yes.
Yeah,
Just like an
probably.
old phone.
All right, so great location, great fourplex. Sounds like it was turnkey, move-in ready. What was the list price, and kind of what was the final price where it shook out at?
That's a great question.
It's a different property.
That's it, probably. Oh, okay. We can go through it. So it was $849,500 is the list price, and it was a newer listing, but we were able to lock it up before. Actually, there was some competition right after.
Yeah.
There's a backup offer right after us, so we locked it up right before they got. So we saw it right away, not only on the MLS but also in person, basically that first week. And from that, we were able to put an offer in because Carly was already pre-approved. Thank you, Troy.
Thank you, Carly. Carly got me everything I needed. She's
And by
super
doing
efficient.
that, it looks like it didn't pull through. But I guess I didn't know the numbers. So 5% down deal because conventional 2 to 4 unit, you can do 5% owner occupied. And we were able to get I believe the seller credit was around $15K.
Yeah,
Double check
sounds
that
about
number.
right.
And we were able to use that for buy down the rate, pay off PMI, a little bit of everything, and get the rate down. At this time, rates were hovering right in mid sixes for 4 units, and we got
Ish,
down
yeah.
to 6%.
Right.
And by doing that,
She didn't want to be, passed up by you, Jeff.
Right.
Yeah, she wasn't.
exactly. And you can see the rents, all 17. So what's nice about this one too, it had 1 vacant unit already ready to go, and then the other 3 units had the $1,750 per month already, and they're paying their own electric and gas bill, right? So the only thing you're on the hook for was water, sewer, trash. It was a dumpster, I believe, too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So very straightforward deal. And what was really cool is the automatic, like I would argue that location, the units were in really good shape, but all from what we could observe, everyone took reasonable, good care of each
Yeah.
unit. So none of the units were messy. Like sometimes you see like someone getting good rent and like it looks like they have never done laundry or thrown the trash out once. These units that were fairly clean, they took good care, respected it. Because I think sometimes you attract what you provide. So if you provide like a beat up unit, you just attract people that don't care. And if you provide higher quality housing, then people do care and take care of it, or at least maintain it better than most rentals. And that was the case here. So 1750 times 3, which was 5250. And then we ran the numbers. So living there, it was about 5250, and Carly took 1 unit with Delta, her sweet little dog. And then the day she moves out, we kind of talked about it, but I think 50-50 split of Section 8 and then keep 2 market tenants. And by doing so, she would get around $7,780 per month.
Wow.
In rents after she moves out. And your mortgage, I believe, is
54.
54-ish
Almost
with
55,
everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're about living for free right now.
Yeah.
Just about, yep.
And then you move out, you should be making some healthy profit then.
Yeah.
So when did you close on this, Carly?
October 1st.
Yeah, recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we were recording this with about 6 weeks after closing. How's been the first 6 weeks of moving in, taking over the property? There's always you always learn something when you move in after
Me too.
or after you close on a property.
Yeah, this one's been really easy.
Nice.
Nothing, no major anything has come up. The tenants have been great. Everyone's very quiet and very respectful. So everything's crossing my fingers, but everything has been pretty good.
So these the 3 tenants, they were all paying cash.
Yep.
How has that been with you taking over? Where it sounds like it's been, I'll say, pretty lax management, and I'm assuming your management's not quite as lax. Did you run into issues with taking over or with getting the cash rents?
No, well, I switched them all over to Zelle. So, and I just told them I don't have a brick and mortar bank, and so it has to go electronic, and they've all been fine with that.
So no one cared.
Yeah, no one cares. It wasn't a big issue. They've all paid on time. Like everything has been really easy, and they're very receptive. They all speak Spanish and I speak Spanish, so that's kind of helpful to like bridge that gap a little bit. Yeah.
Any maintenance requests yet?
Not yet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are there any like upgrades or projects you have to do with the property?
In my unit, I'm doing like I switched out light fixtures and like the bathroom vanity and sinks and stuff like that. But once one of the downstairs tenants moves out, I'll probably have to redo some of the carpet and the flooring because that was a little bit. I couldn't really tell when we were in there, but it didn't look that great. So, but other than that, the other units look good. It would just be upgrades for just enhancing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good units.
Mm-hmm.
And then is your plan? Are you moving out like the 1 year mark? Are you looking to
Hopefully.
keep doing the stack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to catch up to Jeff.
Yes. I hope she exceeds
That'd be
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
So on that note, taking a step back, like what you're on property number 4.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What is the long-term goal? You're doing this. Why and where do you want to go?
I'm doing this because I want to retire early, just like Jeff did, and just, be able to live off of that or be able to work if I want to work, but not have to. And eventually, if I have kids and a family, I'd love to just not work and just have that to help support us and maybe move down to Colombia. That's kind of one of my dreams eventually, is have some property down there.
Why Colombia?
I just love it. I lived there for a while when I was younger, and I just love the culture. I love the whole country. It's awesome.
So a question we often get, Carly, is kind of always getting like on podcasts and events we do is get more female investors in here, right? This is investing is usually a very male-dominated industry. What tips or advice could you give out there, or insights could you give out there to other female investors or other female investors who want to get a house hacking? Because a lot of times they, it's daunting to get started.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. And I've talked to some female friends that there's an element of, oh, I don't want to do that. I want my own space, or I don't know if I would feel safe with living with random people. And I get that, but I would tell them that, you get to be in charge of who you let into your house and who you live with. And it's a lot less daunting once you just start. And then there's a huge community of people that are doing the exact same thing. And that community, in my experience, has been so open and willing to help me out with any questions that I have, or pass around referrals for, electricians or plumbers or things like that. So I'd say just take the step.
Okay. All right. So Carly, on that note, have any of your female friends who've watched this, have they started their journey yet, or have they had any specific roadblocks?
I don't think I've had a friend start on their journey yet. I think some of my friends have financial roadblocks, like they're just not in the place either with savings or credit to do it. And then some of them are just don't want to because they don't want to live with somebody, like they're used to their own space. I do have friends, female friends. Oh, actually, no. Wendy. Wendy.
Yeah.
Wendy did start. She actually bought the townhouse right next to mine.
Yeah.
Really?
Same complex, because it's a great setup, right? You can make it a 5-bed.
Oh, that's
2-bath.
fantastic.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
a reasonable
really
price,
cool.
low HOA.
Okay.
But she had an issue with she had to file an insurance claim, unfortunately, so I kind of pushed things back for her. From the neighbor above, they had like a leak, and it went down to her unit and had to rip out everything, and so that delayed.
In the townhouse?
Yeah, the neighbor above, I think it was the toilet, or they were doing some illegal activities and clogged the toilet, and then it busted through, and then went down to her unit because she was in. She's the way the units are separate set up. The upstairs units are like 2-bed, 1-bath, a little bit smaller than the more or less the townhome units are in the middle and the full basement. So Miss Wendy has that unit, and that person upstairs kind of messed up hers. So she had to file a claim.
Frustrating.
I know. Yeah. So that kind of Carly got one friend to get started.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. But I think I think along those lines is, we talked about this, Chris and Troy, is women. They're definitely more risk adverse in general, I think, to especially house hacking, because like I don't want to live next to strangers. I don't want to live in a basement, or I want my own space. and there's just not a lot of examples. And I think that's what Carly's so special is because you did it and you've done every strategy. So it's not like you've said, no, I don't want to do rent by room, or I don't want to live in a duplex. And I think that's, I guess, talk about that is if you would start all over again, would you have done anything differently, or would you have done the same?
No, I think I would have done the same.
Really?
Because it got me to here, and I was willing, like I saw what long-term benefits it could have. So was willing, and I still am willing to sacrifice short-term to get to that point because I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How close are you to your goal of equaling your W-2 salary at least?
Well, I think right now I'm equal to it.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, my gosh.
Thanks. Yeah. But I don't want to stop.
Yeah.
No, that's smart.
Yeah.
No, you definitely want to build a buffer on there.
Yeah.
So, like, you're young, you've acquired 4 properties. Like, what type of financial discipline do you have to go out there and be able to make those things happen?
I think always my mindset has been just live within my means. And when I started getting more income from the rental properties, I didn't even think of it as mine. I just thought of it as that's for the next house. And so I put it away. And I think that's helped me because I'm still living off my nonprofit salary or less than. But now I don't have a huge housing expense anymore. And then I just save all the rest. And that's been helpful for big repairs and also to continue buying.
Yeah, and I can vouch for that firsthand. Having looked at Carly's financials. Always tease Jeff. I know him better than his doctor does.
That's funny.
But with, because I know his income, his credit, and his assets, and all that stuff. So, but with Carly, I mean, I see a lot, and you're an absolute rock star when it comes to that. And to that point, being super efficient with everything, minimal expense, no car payment. And we had talked earlier on with her pre-approval and went back to talk about the assets, and she had loaded it with boatload more money. It's like, holy smokes, Carly, you bumped that up. I mean, significant amount of more money. And so I can totally vouch for what she was just saying, just being super efficient, plugging the money away. Just like Jeff, the next year comes around, it's like, you got another huge chunk of money to work with. And that's about building your stack, right? You're saving up, you're being efficient, you're not blowing that money, you're saving it for the next property to get ready to go. And so Carly was able to be super aggressive with buying this property, put the 5% down, but bought out the mortgage insurance, bought down the interest rate. Jeff negotiated some great terms with the seller, kicking in some money to help with all that, which made her have a nice efficient payment to make this property a great success, not only now being minimal living expense there to pretty much break even to what it's going to do when she moves out. And you're already building for the next one. She's going to be ready to go. We'll do another podcast in a year for the next Fourplex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes by fast.
It does.
And I guess what would you tell your friends that are struggling with credit or down payment, or they want to do the same thing? Like, let's say they say, Carly, I want to copy you. How do I do it? What would you tell them?
Well, I think there's so many great first-time homebuyer options out there, and like the one that I used was through Bank of America, the loan grant program, and so the grant gave me $10,000 for my down payment and then $7,500 for closing costs, and that was money that I didn't have to pay back. It wasn't built into the loan or anything like that, and so it was just taxes on it, and so that was a huge, because I didn't have that much at that time to put down, and so that got me to my first place, and then once I got there, then it was so much easier to get to the second and the third and the fourth.
So the first one was harder than the second one.
Yeah, definitely. Just because I went from paying $1,500 to
Rents, high
rents.
rent at Jeff's
Yeah.
place.
Yeah.
It was like cheaper for her to own her own place.
It was.
So the rent by room.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I think it's wonderful too, because I want any of my, I love it when anyone that's ever rented from me buys a place, because I think when you start on a property ladder, most people, unfortunately, when you get renters pretty much their whole lives. And if you look at the net worth, I think what Troy or Chris told me, it's like the net worth of a renter over their lifetime is like $12,000, $20,000, something like that. And someone that owns even just one house is like $300,000.
Yeah.
I don't know the difference, but there's a big
significant
difference on there.
Yeah. And I think it's wonderful when people just get started. It's not saying you have to do what Carly or I've done, of like do multiple house hacks, but the first one's going to be the hardest one for every single person. And once you get the ball rolling, then it's weird. It does the opposite, Troy. It's like your first one's the hardest, and then the second one's easier. Your debt to income ratio goes down, and then with the same job, and then if you keep doing it, it's easier to qualify for the subsequent property. So that's what Carly's done. So each one, she's qualified for a little bit more and bought a little bit better property, I think, each time.
Even in the current market with the current rates and everything, it still can work.
Yep.
And you're a perfect example of that.
Yeah. Even like I haven't had a raise since I started, and every year I qualify for more.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I just love the fact that you weren't deterred by that bad rent by room renter.
Yeah.
Still kept on plugging.
Kept on going.
But that's part of that's just reality, right? So it's a matter of win, not if in real estate, right? A bad tenant, a weird tenant destroys a place. Water damage. Yeah. Every landlord will eventually, unfortunately, deal with what water does to properties, and it's never a good thing. So I want to go back a couple minutes, Carly. You were talking about your financial strategies. You stayed very disciplined with your finances. You've lived below your means. And then all the new money you have coming in from your rental properties, is that essentially going to like an investment account to fix up anything in the properties, but then help you like fund the next investment or fund other investments then?
Exactly. Yeah, I just put it all in a high yield savings account and just keep it there until I need it. Hopefully I don't, but there have been times when I do. And so, for the next place.
Okay, so use it for some cash reserves or down payment on the next place?
Yeah.
Now, based on you've done townhome, house, a few weeks into Fourplex, do you know what type of property you want next, or is it just dependent on market conditions?
Well, I always tell Jeff, I'll go wherever the numbers make sense.
Right answer.
We didn't even tell her to answer that way before.
She has not been bribed or sponsored by anyone here or coached to say that. That's a perfect answer.
I just got the bug.
Yeah. Well, yes, it's true.
Yeah. I mean, the Fourplex, now that I'm living in a Fourplex and I have my own space, like, I really, really like that. Yeah. So that would be great, but I'll go wherever it makes sense.
Wow.
So, Carly, we always like to use podcasting as a way for people to facilitate networking. What's the best way for people to connect with you or network with you, either on social media or at a meetup or email? Like, how can people get in touch with you?
I am not super active on social media, so probably just my email. It's my name, carlycaprio@gmail.com.
Okay.
And let's go from there.
Well, we'll make sure we publish that in the show notes, because I'm sure there'll be some aspiring investors or current investors that want to sync up with you as well. But as we close this podcast, you're on your fourth house hack. Like, what's the biggest lesson you've learned in your whole real estate journey so far, in terms of mistakes you've made or things you learned or something that you wish you could have told, younger Carly?
That is such a good question.
It's my favorite question to ask people, because it's such a great way to learn from people.
Yeah. I constantly find myself telling myself it's going to be okay. Like, every new challenge that I haven't faced yet, or, something breaks down, or a crazy tenant or something like that, and I get this fear inside of me of like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I'm responsible for this, all this stuff. It's going to be okay. Like, there's community out there, there's referrals, there's so many ways to do this journey, and I'm just lucky that I got plugged in with the right people. So that's what I would say.
That's a great tip.
Yeah, you don't feel alone. You feel supported.
Yeah,
that's huge.
Troy or Jeff, any obviously you guys have been a big part of her journey. Any of your closing thoughts or tips?
Oh, Carly's a woman. She's the top tier and a wonderful person to talk to, and she's been through all those experiences, and there's other tenants too that she hasn't mentioned, but I think overall, anyone that's curious that wants to learn from her, she's just an amazing person, and not just an investor, but also a person. A wonderful dog mom. Her dog is the sweetest dog I've ever met. Literally barks one time for a little Australian Shepherd. But most importantly, a lot of tips. She definitely, undersells herself. She's just exceeded all expectations. I'm so happy for her, and I know there's more great things to come for her, and it's just the beginning, really. I feel like her Colombian house, her dream of Colombia is not that far away, and she could keep going here as long as she wants, and then go there, split time. I think that's achievable goal, and now you're that much closer.
Yeah.
So congratulations.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Congrats on your 4th house hack. Congrats on your journey so far, Carly.
Thanks, Chris.
All right. So if anyone out there wants to connect with Carly, connect her an email. Come to one of our house hack meetups as well. But big thank you, Carly, for coming out. We appreciate you taking time every day to share your story. And big thanks to Troy and Jeff for coordinating it. So appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.